Welcome. In this short video, we are going to talk about integrated development environments, or IDE for short. And also, we're going to walk through the steps of installing on the Windows platform the Visual Studio Code IDE. Why would you want to use an IDE is the question that might come up right from the top. And the reason is very similar to the reason why you might use a popular word processor to write your next essay or story, article, letter, or poem. It makes you a better author. Popular word processors offer great features like spell checking, grammar checking, style suggestions, readability statistics that tell you how easy to read your writing is, and also helps you format your writing and style it to make it publishable. It makes you a better author and a better writer. An IDE does the same thing for you as a coder. It makes you a better coder. With an IDE, you can do things like write your code productively inside the development environment. It helps you find suggestions for what you're trying to do with Code Assist. It color codes your code according to the syntax you're using to help you see and understand your code better. And it also has features like testing and debugging inside the development environment. So you don't have to step outside your IDE to other applications to test or run or code or debug your application. You can do it all from one single integrated development environment. Okay, let's install the Visual Studio Code environment. We're going to go through the steps together on Windows. The steps are very similar for Mac OS. Let's go to https://code.visualstudio.com together and download the freely available development environment, Visual Studio Code. You can see here the option there is download for Windows. You can also download it for other platforms we talked about. For the sake of brevity, I've also already downloaded it. Before we go through and run the installation, just to note here, you can see from the right here, the one great thing about this particular development environment is that with one IDE, you can write code in many different languages, from Java to JavaScript, C, C++, Python, C#, HTML, and the list just goes on. You can write many different programs in many different languages from one single IDE, which is a great feature of this particular IDE. So let's install Visual Studio version 1.58.2 together. Very first step when you get the setup wizard is that, like many other setup wizards, it's going to ask you to accept the license agreement. Read through the agreement. If you're okay with it, then change the radio button to I accept the agreement and click next. I recommend checking the first checkbox on the next page in the wizard to create a desktop icon to launch Visual Studio Code easily whenever you need to. This last checkbox is also very important. Make sure to add to the path. And so you should check that last box. The other ones are nice to have. You can go ahead and check them. We won't need them for this video. And it's just going to ask you to confirm all the settings and options you've chosen in the previous steps of the wizard. And if you're okay with it, just click install. Okay, the last step tells you you're done, you're all good to go, and you can check this box on the last page here so that it launches Visual Studio Code to confirm that you actually have installed it correctly and that it's functioning. So we're going to do that by clicking Finish. Visual Studio launches. I have installed it before, so I don't see the welcome screen. You might see the welcome screen that talks all about Visual Studio and the current version and what the features and functions are. Read that carefully, get familiar with Visual Studio Code. We're not going to walk through the different IDE features here, but now the purpose was really just to install it, and we have it installed here. I think we'll stop here. I just want to thank you for watching and all the best in your journey to JavaScript.